drinking buddies, they released 4 different new release ryes from Jack Daniel's last year, which is crazy. Which one's the best? Let's find out. Little shelf versus allocated versus unicorn theme here. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies, for shelf, we have Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye. My review of this one was not that favorable. I don't love it. Found it to be kind of weak, especially considering I feel like there's just better ryes out there on the market. Now, this guy, on the other hand, I couldn't shut up about. I love this. I think it's one of the best ryes available, and it's a single barrel rye. This particular one is 134.4 proof. Now, the other release from that you might not think is a separate release, but it kind of is. Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye Private Selection. So this is a barrel pick, and it's 134.9 proof, and this one was selected by Bourbon and Bones up in Scottsdale. And last up, we have another release that I found to be a little disappointing. This is the Heritage Barrel Rye, 100 proof. It is a twice-barreled rye. And a lot of people love this one. For me, it didn't hit nearly as well as these. I was holding it to the high standards of this whiskey. And the truth is, for costing more, I would way rather buy one of these, personally. So, but let's see if that lines up with the way I feel these should line out. These two should be dramatically better than the other two. Let's see if I know what I'm talking about. It's bright and citrusy, but it's also tobacco and oaky. That's this. It's funny, I only had a little sample of it in a little plastic cup. That's all I've drank out of that. Not even out of this. I just popped the bottle for this, but before I bought it, I tried a little plastic sample cup. I'm like 99% sure that's this. It is so medicinal cherry. It is so tobacco forward. It doesn't taste like any other rye I've ever tasted. It is so good and so unique, and it's even better than I remember. Yeah, that cigar box, that's so much medicinal cherry. It is crazy how much medicinal cherry I've started to get out of Jack Daniel's recently. Youth. Bananas. Little subtle rye spice. Banana and cherry and cinnamon, and it's okay. I just made a face like it isn't. It's okay. It's just, Jack, I hold you to a higher standard than that, and I'm pretty sure that's this guy. I shouldn't be, well, you know me, I always end up bottle guessing. I tend to know what I'm drinking, and sometimes I'm way wrong, so makes it fun for the viewer to see me totally screw up. I do that for you, the viewer. For the consumer. This is a nice nose. This is, there's a little marshmallowy and toasted, which kind of leads in this direction. This is, oaky, brown sugar. There's a marshmallow thing here. Subtle banana, like Banana's Foster. Very front of the palate forward, like my tongue is tingling, which I do enjoy. I do enjoy when a whiskey tingles the tip of my tongue. Not as good as that one. It's crazy how these are all the same mash bill from the same distillery, probably aged about the same amount of time except for this one, and they smell completely different. Completely different nose. This one's molassesy, like creme brulee, like desserty, like burned sugar. This might be this is the best nose, I think. That one came up feeling a little thin on the mouthfeel, so maybe I got these two mixed up. Anyway, I'm gonna go through these again. We'll figure out which one's my favorite, and I'll tell you which one you should be hunting for. Let's figure out if the shelf can beat the unicorn. It can't, but the allocated can definitely beat the unicorn. Let's go. Some interesting things happened when I went through these again. This one, I think, might be... I'm struggling with saying that this is the twice barreled because it's got the vibes of this bottle on the heat, on the nose, but as far as the palate goes, I'm really getting some like toasted marshmallow vibes off of that, which is stuff I got off of this one. But this one is kind of thin and kind of lacking compared to glasses 1 and 3. So this has to be the twice barreled. It like has to be. But on the nose, it's giving me more vibes of that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is this is the best. This is the second best. This is the third best. And this is like, there's just a huge chasm between these three and this. This is like, those three are good, amazing whiskeys. And this is like something that I probably would never reach for except for mixing. I think this is one of the weakest offerings I've tasted in a calendar year. It's just a huge disappointment for me, and I'm 100% confident that that's the Jack Rye. When I did a comparison between that and the sour mash, and I found the sour mash much better, and I'm going to stand by that. This is that's the bonded. Okay, and then this has to be the twice barrel. This has to be the twice barrel because if the mouthfeel is kind of thin at 100 proof, and the finish is just short in comparison to those guys. Maybe it's a good finish for 100 proof, but finish is short compared to those two, at least. This has got to be the twice barrel. Yes. All right, so that's the twice barrel. Now this one, on the other hand, is giving me the vibes of this mixed with this. So obviously, and we know we found that one already, but it's this one, and I just don't know where I'm getting those toasted marshmallow vibes from. Because even now that I know it's that, because it's got to be that. It's like toasted marshmallow and banana. It's like a banana s'mores, man. Sib, that's this guy. And then Bourbon and Bones took the top spot because this was our medicinal cherry bomb. This was our tobacco bomb. Man, I can't even believe, for a Jack Daniel's product, 2 of the most medicinal cherry whiskeys I've tasted in the last like 6 months are this bottle of this Jack Daniel's single barrel and Jack 12. Wild. 2 bottles that I would more associate with banana than cherry, and they are just cherry medicinal bombs. Like not like, when I say medicinal cherry, some of you guys might be like, ugh, but I'm differentiating it from like a candy cherry. I'm differentiating it from like a fresh cherry, and it's more of that like cough syrup thing. Not in a bad way. This doesn't taste like cough syrup. If it tasted like cough syrup, it would have finished last, but it has that note of like a medicine-y cherry. Anyway, drinking buddies, this was fun. I'm loving what Jack Daniel's is doing. They were probably my distillery of the year, right there with them and Jim Beam. Jim Beam did a great job in 2023. They released Little Book Chapter 7, 3 banger Booker's batches, and the Apprentice batch, which is a thing that exists. Not as bad as people made it out to be, but it is not a great batch. But they did 3 great batches of Booker's this year. Awesome. Like more, like go you. Knob Creek 18 was better than last year, and last year's was great. And then the Hardin's Creek line, I've only tasted the Jacob's Well because they don't release those in Arizona because, I don't know, Jim Beam hates Arizona, I guess. Like, Knob 15 has never been released in Arizona. I tell people I have a bottle of Knob 15 and they actually lose their minds like I have a bottle of Pappy or something. No joke. I tell whiskey people that I have a bottle of Knob 15 and they're like, how'd you get it? Oh my gosh. No joke. Because it was never released in Arizona and I live in Arizona. But anyway, Jim Beam had a great year too. And then, you know, the worst distillery there is easily Wild Turkey. Thanks for tripling your prices and releasing the worst Master's Keep you've ever released. And somehow people still like it. I don't quite get it. Me and Kurt hate it. Me and Bourbon of the Week hate it. About half of Whiskey Tube hates that bottle. And the other half says it's pretty good, but maybe not worth $300. We're the ones that are right. Anyway, drinking buddies, thank you for watching. Every time you guys click like, every time you guys subscribe, you're making this thing possible. Couldn't do this without you guys, so I really appreciate all of you. I'm going to go mix this into something because it's meh, but these other three I am going to enjoy. Cheers.